Okay, what you are looking at is Boston Commons here on a Wednesday morning, a kind of gloomy gray Wednesday morning. It is the 29th of November here. There are things going all over town, so I guess that's another setup for another thing among town for the coming holiday, Christmas season. Years ago, one day I was walking early in the morning and, through Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, and I noticed just an odd little door in a pod mall that was full of like coffee shops and things like that, and it was just a door, and on the nameplate on the door caught my attention. It said Shepley Bulfinch. And I thought it was the funniest thing I ever heard. I mean, it was so English. I mean, the name just dripped England. I love the name. It sounded something out of Dickens or, James or something like that. It was just so English. And I never heard a name like Shepley Bulfinch, It really struck me as funny, and obviously it was. And obviously, the room there, the office, quote unquote, there was simply a mailing address kind of thing. I think it was one of those kind of things that, oh yeah, we also have offices in Phoenix. It came across to me like that. Okay, I learned they had on the door with the name architects. Okay, it was an architectural firm, Shepley Bulfinch, and I always thought it funny. Okay. Well, flash forward about 10 years. I'm outside of Houston, and I see this architectural truck, this truck outside this construction site. And on the side of the truck, is Shepley Bulfinch Architects, and they had a big banner along the site, coming soon, new, it was a new educational facility or school. So I'm like, wow, this Shepley Bulfinch is doing all right, this architectural firm. Turns out they primarily do educational buildings, okay, which is timely. But they do educational buildings, from what I learned through Google. And they've become very, very big. When I was back in Phoenix, that little door on that little quote-unquote office was now a major, it was a major banner along Central Avenue. They had a huge, a marquee in an office building. They had the top name in the office building along Central Avenue in downtown Phoenix. So they had done all right, But I still wanted to know who Shepley Bulfinch was, So I looked further into the corporation, and I found Shepley Bulfinch is, it's not one man. It's simply a concoction of a name. Shepley and then Bulfinch. And Shepley, for some reason, which I forget, but Bulfinch was in honor of a man named Charles Bulfinch. And who is Charles Bulfinch? Well, he is probably the first major architect in the United States. All right. He is responsible for this, the Massachusetts State House. Okay, it is he that really put the design here on the Massachusetts State House. Okay. Also, he had a part, from what I hear, with the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. He played a role in the design of the Washington Capitol in D.C. Back here in Massachusetts, he has done a number of buildings. Besides the State House, he is responsible for the University of, the General Hospital of Massachusetts. Okay, Massachusetts General Hospital. He is responsible for the primary design of that hospital and that institution. He's done a number of institutions here. Charles Bulfinch. He was buried down at the King's Chapel along here on Beacon Street. I believe it's on Beacon or Tremont. But he was buried there. And they still have a sign there outside the cemetery, noting that he is buried here. But I found out after surveying the cemetery and Googling that some years back they removed his body from that cemetery, and he now lies somewhere, but he has got a major monument to himself now, all by himself, in some cemetery somewhere. I can't remember, but it's no longer here in downtown Boston, where he really established his name and his reputation and built a career, being the man who created so many years ago the Massachusetts State House. Funny how things come around. Small world.